Welcome to On the Vineyard, a 10-minute weekly wrap-up of news from the Vineyard Gazette Media Group on Martha's Vineyard. I'm publisher Monica Brady-Myrov. We're so glad you're here. On the Vineyard is sponsored by Martha's Vineyard Bank. This is the point in the summer when events really ramp up. There was a Ziggy Marley concert, a fundraising dinner for Featherstone Center for the Arts, and another for Sheriff's Meadow, all in the span of a couple of days.
It's an honor to be with all of you tonight and a privilege to work with the Sheriff's Meadow family. It's dedicated.
The Sheriff's Meadow event was fittingly in a meadow, and thankfully it didn't rain because there were some powerful rainstorms this past week. During one, I was on Chappaquiddick attending an acoustic guitar performance. It was beautiful to listen to the peaceful guitar playing of Anna Vidovich and the falling rain. The weather threw off some of the ferries, but it's been smooth sailing for the new steamship general manager.
And they gave him marks ranging from 85 to well into the 90s. Nobody gets 100% from the Steamship Authority.
More on that story in a moment. But first, a birthday party for the Harbor View Hotel.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harbor View. Happy birthday to you.
The hotel celebrates 130 years this month. Owner Bernard Chu explained how important the hotel is to him and his family.
The Harbor View Hotel is very important for me and also for my family. So my two daughters are both here this evening.
He says he wants the hotel to be the legacy of his family. That's the sound of the historic press in the Vineyard Gazette offices in Edgartown printing the paper. That means it's time to go upstairs to the newsroom and check in with Bill Evell, the editor-in-chief, and the reporters on this week's news.
Turning now to Louisa Huffstadter, who attended the Steamship Authority meeting this week, where new general manager Alex Kriska got high marks and a raise. Louisa?
Well, Alex has been on the job since January, and so apparently as part of his contract negotiations, the Steamship Authority Board agreed to give him a 6-month review and look at his compensation. You'll recall he started at $225,000. He's now making a shade over $251,000, so that's about a $26,000 raise, based on evaluations from the board members that govern the Steamship Authority, and they gave him marks ranging from 85 to into the 90s. Nobody gets 100% from the Steamship Authority, and Falmouth which represents also Woods Hole, was particularly exacting and only gave him an 85% grade out of 100. But all of the board members said they were really happy with his performance, and that while he had not gotten as far as he'd indicated he would in 6 months on the work plan that he gave them at the beginning of the year, they were really happy to see that he's spent a lot of his time doing things that weren't expected in the work plan, and also addressing the Inspector General's sharply critical report that came out in December about the Steamship Authority's website project.
Yeah, and just from following the meetings and different events around the island, he has definitely been a more outward-facing leader, we've noticed. Did they mention that?
That was a big part of what they said. He's demonstrating empathy more than one. Actually, it was the Port Council which met earlier this month, and they advised the Board of Governors. They all cited his empathy, his willingness to listen, his willingness to talk and meet with just about everybody, and really come at it in a friendly and not adversarial or defensive manner, which was a breath of fresh air, frankly.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth. You did a lot of stories on the governor going out of commission, but he definitely listened, paused, and of course it did go back to the original decision, but there was some talk back and forth.
You're talking about the freight ferry governor. Yes, that, and also talking to the people of Woods Hole about the project involving the terminal, about he's been meeting with that village's bicycle and pedestrian committee. He's held public meetings, he goes to the select board meetings, he comes to the vineyard so often he's lost track of how many times.
All right. Thanks so much, Louisa.
You're welcome.
Turning now to Emma Kilbride with a story that is very difficult, but also with a ray of hope. Newton Waite is back on the island and his spot at Vineyard Caribbean Cuisine. He is a local business owner who was detained by ICE in September, taken from a Falmouth parking lot, and was released in early July. Emma got to sit down recently with Newton and his daughter Ashante. Emma, what was that like? I mean, it's a homecoming, but that's a really hard journey.
Yeah, Bill, thank you. It was an honor to sit down with them and to have them share both of their stories with me. And really, it's been a story for the past year of just a constant fight to get Newton home. And now that he is home, the family is looking forward to his pending trial, which will essentially decide whether or not he can remain in the United States.
And this story is, of course, the story we know because we were able to talk to Newton and his daughter, but this is a story of so many people in so many different detention centers all over the country. It's happening to every community. Now, Newton, he really opened up to you to what it was like, how awful, how he was moved around. Can you describe some of that?
Yeah, he had a really harrowing experience in detention. He didn't have access to quality water or food. He was often crammed in rooms with too many people. He had health issues that were not properly attended to. Detainees experienced mental health issues while they were in the detention centers. Really, every aspect of life was quite difficult.
And as you report, a lot of people in rooms, it was like 70 people in a small room from your reporting. Also, he had 2 mini heart attacks while he was in detention, and instances where they weren't allowed to contact him, so they didn't know what was going on, and no, physical touch with any of his visitors.
Yeah, it was a very, and continues to be a very mentally and emotionally and financially taxing experience for the family, because in addition to all the things that you just talked about, to quote Ashante when she spoke with me for the first time back in the winter, paying for a detained person to live is expensive. So the family is right now still trying to raise money to pay for legal fees and to help them through this time. And the good thing is Ashante is having an art benefit at the end of the month to help drum up a little bit of money.
Yeah, and she lives in New York but had to travel back to keep the business going. Now, Newton's a longtime island business person. Could you describe to folks what was the situation surrounding the detention?
Basically what happened was back in September when ICE detained Newton in Falmouth, he was in the process of trying to secure his permanent residency in the United States, and the court's notification that he needed to appear was delivered to the wrong address, which means he did not know that he needed to appear in court. And so there was no warrant out for his arrest, but ICE did arrest him.
And that began a 10-month journey that the family is still dealing with. Thank you so much, Emma, for your reporting, and I really recommend everybody to read the story. It's really just a mixture of harrowing, but a little bit of hope, especially how he bonded with different folks there, but it really gives a name to so many unknown stories out there. Thanks so much, Emma.
You can read more on these stories and all the news for free at vineyardgazette.com. Also, check out On the Vineyard podcast on Instagram. The Martha's Vineyard Authors Series is in full swing. I've already seen 3 authors speak. And this weekend, you can still get tickets to Lee Bollinger, President Emeritus of Columbia University, and Jelani Cobb, Dean of Columbia's Graduate School of Journalism. They'll be talking about freedom of speech on college campuses and in the press. If it's anything like the authors I've already heard, it will be a stimulating conversation. The lobster rolls are everywhere. In addition to being on every menu, you can pre-order them for takeout at Grace Church in Vineyard Haven on Fridays. They deliver them in a plastic clamshell package with buns and chips for you to assemble later. On Tuesdays, the Chilmark Community Church has a similar lobster roll offering, and so does the American Legion in Vineyard Haven. Their offering comes with watermelon and a drink. I've been a fan of the Grace Church offering, but I think I might need to expand my tastes. This Saturday, don't miss the birthday celebration of the Flying Horses. The carousel is 150 years old and is the oldest in America. Dan Hastings' family owned the Flying Horses in the 1970s, before they were acquired by the Vineyard Preservation Trust. In 2025, he shared memories with Andia Whitcomb of the Martha's Vineyard Museum.
from Easter weekend right up until Labor Day. We opened up at 1 o'clock on Sundays, and I can remember my mother saying, "Come on, we got to go. There's people going to be waiting at the door." And we closed at 11 o'clock at night. You know, as I got older, I was there putting out the rings. I always remember I could probably fix that ring arm so the prettiest girl would get the ring on that flying horse. And my dad would say, "The kids are supposed to get it. The kids are supposed to get it."
Thank you to the Martha's Vineyard Museum for this audio. Our theme music is from island composer and musician Michael Hayden. If you like the show, please follow us so you won't miss an episode, and tell a friend who loves the vineyard. Thanks to our sponsor, Martha's Vineyard Bank, committed to supporting the Martha's Vineyard and Falmouth communities through their charitable foundation and local partnerships. Last year, they donated $100,000 to Island Housing Trust. Martha's Vineyard Bank, your goals, our guidance. Learn more at mvbank.com. I'm Monica Brady Meyerhoff. Thanks for joining us on The Vineyard. Talk to you next week.